It's getting near the end of the month, that time when consumer confidence indices are typically reported. We here at Gallup have the luxury of doing interviews every single day, so instead of just having to report one index, which can reflect data that were collected weeks ago, we can look at the trends day by day and dissect what's going on in consumers' minds relating to the economy. Very, very important measures at this time. We are seeing some upticks in consumer psychology. This is what's interesting. Let's look at our Gallup Consumer Confidence Index here, our basic index for the moment. Look compared to December 1st, how we had a significant uptick around the end of December and into January. Then it went back down, but now more recently, going up towards the inauguration, we saw another increase in consumer confidence, although it's tailed off just a little. But when you compare January to December, probably an increase all in all. Same thing when we look at our measure of consumers' view of their own standard of living, a significant uptick through January from December. Now, we've seen a drop-off here in the last couple of days, but basically a significant uptick month to month, January to December. And another measure, did you worry about money yesterday? It doesn't move a lot, but we had up to 40% who were worrying about money in December, and that dropped down to as low as 35%, and now that's back up just a little. But when you look across these Gallup measures of consumer psychology, you can see there have been some ups and downs, but clearly we have seen an uptick through the end of the year and into January, although there may be some tailing off at this point. Why? Well, one reason we think is politics. We can break out our indices by the partisan orientation of our respondents. Here you're looking at measures for Democrats, Republicans, and Independents on the Standard of Living Index, and notice the trend line really went up most in the month of January in recent weeks among Independents and Democrats, not Republicans, probably reflecting anticipation of Barack Obama being inaugurated. So a uplift in consumer spirits driven by an uplift in political attitudes. The big question, does this increase in consumer psychology mean that consumers are going to spend more? Is it going to be good for the economy? There we don't generally see it. Here's our measure of consumer spending, which we track daily. Notice how that's continued to go down, 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 down through January. That certainly didn't go up like the psychology measures, although there's a slight uptick in the last couple of days. We'll have to wait and see if that represents anything major. My bottom line out of all of this, we're likely to have people reporting consumer confidence up some. We think that may in part reflect political attitudes. So far, we don't see it being reflected in what really matters, and that is consumer spending, although we'll have to monitor this in the weeks ahead. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Editor-in-Chief of the Gallup Poll.